move the animated jazz to one side. Right. Listen, I've just done another show. You saw the funny interaction with the Amazon man. How many people get annoyed by the Amazon delivery guys who they do funny things? Before I get into West Ham, you know what I'm like, gonna go a bit sideways. So these guys got a nice clear doorbell in my front door. Nice and clear door number. Half of them end up next door. Half of them like to punch my glass that's in my front door instead of pressing the doorbell. A couple of them like to throw the parcels at the front door. The most common thing at the moment is press the doorbell and they leg it. I don't think that day's far apart when they're going to start chucking parcels over your front wall, and that'll be it. there'll be no pressing the doorbell, waiting for you to kindly open the door, have a nice kind discussion, and you can say thank you, and they can say there you go, and all that. It's just getting ridiculous. And delivery drivers, please stop driving 80 miles an hour on a 2030 residential road, please. Anyway, West Ham Irons channel, West Ham Tactics Show with Jazz. Done a few days, gonna do a bit more of them going forward. But yeah, I thought it was the right time to discuss what a lot of you are thinking. We're kind of 3 games into the league season, 1 in a cup. What's the right formation? What's the right team going forward? Because we've signed so many players, the squad has changed quite a lot. New manager, we don't quite know what he wants to do, what he's thinking. So I thought it'd be a good time to kind of talk through what my feelings are about what's being discussed about various players, various tactics, formations, what I think we should be doing, and kind of why. And again, comments. Put your comments in and I'll reply as and when I can. But keep the banter coming. It's funny. Keep it coming. It's what it's all about. Don't take yourself too seriously. Have a bit of a laugh, but yeah, try to entertain the punters, innit? That's what it's about. West Ham. John Lars said that, didn't he? But yeah, before I go into what I think should be the right formation, a couple of things that are at the top of the list to discuss is some people are saying put Bowen up front, right? That goes against everything what we wanted when the summer window was happening, and it's kind of conspired and finished. Put Bowen up front, okay. What do we do with Fulkrug? What do we do with Antonio? And that leaves other questions, isn't it, to kind of happen. Paqueta is splitting the fan base. My feelings are he needs to be more disciplined under this new manager who likes ball possession. We can no longer keep playing for Mavropanos and Paqueta to lose the ball in key areas leading to key goals. And how you can kind of, some people, how you can watch a game and mistakes are happening from Paqueta and Mavropanos leading to chances and goals, and then say, oh yeah, they had all right game, didn't they? No, they didn't. They didn't. I don't care about Paqueta's tricks and flicks and all that kind of thing. It's not a circus. Most of the players who are professionals on that pitch can keep the ball up for 1 or 2 hours, can flick it on their neck. They can do all those tricks if they wanted, right? That's not for the football pitch. Paqueta needs to quickly learn to keep the ball and be kind of quite careful with it in dangerous areas in and around our penalty area, right? And you don't want to lose it outside our penalty area, because the way we're playing with a high line, we're exposed anyway. So if they do lose it in and around, which we've seen Mavropanos against Villa, we saw Paqueta last week against Man City, if they lose it in those areas, or indeed anywhere on the pitch, we are exposed to a quick counter-attack, and then our CDMs, the other CDMs, in trouble, our fullbacks in trouble, our centre-halves are in trouble. We're all exposed, and we're going to concede more goals than we are. That needs to stop on the training ground. The manager needs to get a message out there. We've got Rodriguez, we've got Paqueta, we've got kind of Alvarez, we've got, Souček playing quite well. 4 doesn't go into 2. That's up to the manager now to decide, right? And I'm pretty simple about things. If Paqueta doesn't learn, then he might learn on the bench, right? What's happening with the betting thing? What's in his mind? That's not for me to think. I'm not into one of those guys that gives therapy or anything like that. It's keep it simple. What's happening on the pitch? Are you playing well? Are you not? If you're not playing well, go and have some therapy, whatever you need. I'm sorry, this is the way I am, right? I'm not gonna just carry a player for the sake of it, right? If you're not performing, it's only fair that you give other players a chance. And I go back to, I used to have Antonio and Souček took a lot of flack from me in the previous years. Antonio's still shit. Souček's done all right. Got dropped. All right. It is what it is. It's a good in a way, keeps you on your toes. It's a bad in a way where what more do you have to do, right? Paqueta doesn't get dropped, and I've seen nothing from him since January. Nothing from him since January, and that is far too long for a player that's worth 70, 80 million apparently, right? So you need to think about that, and you just need to play the players that are in form. They're trying their best, they're playing well, and obviously you need to sometimes bring the new signings in slowly, gradually. Rodriguez, we've seen him struggle a bit with the pace of the Premiership, that kind of thing. So lots of things to discuss and think about up front. Paqueta issue and the Kudus issue on the left-hand side. Some of you perhaps rightly are saying he's struggling. He's certainly not hitting the heights of last season. But it's good to see the manager change it out sometimes during the game. And last week, I think Kudus, had a good kind of second half, really. Like I said, 2 players for every position at the moment. That's why people are talking about whether that player should play, whether that one should be dropped, etc., really. Lots of questions up in the air. So without further ado, let's go into the tactics kind of control center, shall we speak. Welcome to the Jazz War Cabinet room. It's where all the serious stuff is done, all the tactics, all the formations. Get the felt tip out, get the notice board out, all that kind of thing, innit? Anyway, some of you say that my Cockney accent isn't good. How dare you? How dare you? I'm from West London, mate. I might not be Canning Town. I might not be a in-towner. I'm an out-towner from West. Not bad from a Chelsea area, I suppose. But anyway, bloody hell, I love waffling on, don't I? Anyway, there we go. You wanted it. There you go, mate. There you go. So that's what I think should be considered going forward. Obviously with the thinking that it can be changed game to game, half to half. So this is what I'm thinking. Obviously, it is a 4-2-3-1. I don't think we're in a position to play what I think is Lopetigui's long-term wish of a Arsenal-type 4-3-3. I think we're missing 1 or 2 type of players for that to happen. Whether that happens with Carlos Soler, I don't know. So Carlos Soler obviously isn't in this formation, but we'll talk about him as we go on. Areola in goal. That's obviously he's going to carry on. He made a really good save against Man City. He's a very good shot stopper, including that save at Man City. What he needs to work on is communication. He needs to be more kind of vocal with the back four, and especially on crosses. He needs to come out or not come out and make that clear. Right, we don't want any mix-ups. We don't want him stuck on the goal line when he should come out. So he needs to be really commanding his box and the back four. I think that's the areas he needs to work on. He's very good with more or less with distribution, kicking and shot stopping. He's okay, but with kind of coming out for crosses, whether it's his ball, whether it's the centre back or defender's ball, it's a bit up in the air sometimes, right? So that's the areas he needs to improve on. Back four, Wan-Bissaka done really, really well coming in. You can clearly see the quality of the man. It's way above Kufal and Emerson, dare I say. And he's got lots of pace, lots of energy, and very, very good in the final third attacking, as we saw against Crystal Palace. He was doing ever so well to give Bowen a lot of options down that side. And he was there next to Bowen saying, if you need me, I'm right next to you, mate. So really, really good. Hopefully stays injury free. I think if you buy a player for the amount of money we're going to pay for Todibo or that kind of reputation in Europe, you got to play him. He's right-footed. He plays the J-Lo way, which is very good with passing the ball out from the back. Very, very good, right? We're going to see a lot of that going forward. Right-footed, complements Kilman on the left. They're both 26, 27. Reasonable pace, very good on the floor. Kilman is obviously much better heading aerial ability. So with Mavropanos on the bench, you lose that heading ability. But with Todibo, I'm hoping he's much more better than Mavropanos in one-to-one defending and intelligent and can kind of bring you out from the back a bit better than Mavropanos does, really. Emerson is there. I think he's steady Eddie. Some of you saying he's missing Paqueta. Well, I've put Paqueta in there next to Alvarez on that kind of side alongside Somerville. So hopefully that helps Emerson. Rodriguez, I think perhaps just neutral on him at the moment. Just give him more time. I think a lot of these signings are shocked about how fast the Premiership is. How much stamina you need, how much strength you need, and it's caught them by surprise. I think Rodriguez could be one of them, alongside Fulkrug, really. So I think I'm going to give Paqueta a couple of more chances, and this time he's got to play as a CDM. He's got to play for the team. This is the position for him. I don't want him playing where Somerville is. I don't want him playing where Kudus is, right? I think Kudus has got it in him to be right up there with Bowen as our best player, our best players, and I want the best players to be given kind of the tools to be the best and do as much as they can for the team. So Kudus, I want him in the middle, but with the tools to be and the freedom to be a number 10 to kind of float wherever you want, mate. But try to be middle or try to interchange with Bowen. Bowen can interchange with Kudus down that right side. Somerville stays on the left. That's how he performed for Leeds. That's how he was their player of the season. That's how he was the championship player of the season. That's how he, as a right footer, cut in and scored goals and made things happen and la 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 la. Keep Somerville in there before, because the last thing I want is you sign a player who's had a really, really good season on the back of really, really good form. You don't use him, and then self-doubt comes into the player's mind, the confidence dwindles, and then it takes him time to kind of come up back to the levels he had last season as and when you use him. So I think it's time for Somerville, and he's played in the Premiership a couple of years ago, right? It's time for Somerville to play in his favourite position. It's time for Kudus to go back to one of the positions he likes. Kudus and Paqueta from Lyon and Ajax respectively have come from a 4-3-3 system. Paqueta was used centrally or on the wing in the 4-3-3. Not on the wings, I mean in that centre mid 4-3-3, 3 in the middle. Kudus was the same. But Kudus had a lot of different things. Kudus played as a number 10 for Ajax. He played in that middle of the three behind the front three, but not on the wing so much on the left side. So Kudus will be fine there. Bowen, we know, loves that side. Alvarez, CDM all the way around. I think this is what we should consider with an option, with a view of seeing how Paqueta does. If Paqueta doesn't get involved in the game, if he's not sticking to where he should be, if he's leaving Alvarez by himself, which he's got a tendency to do, then Alvarez is exposed by himself. Or he's not stringing the passes together, or maybe Alvarez Paqueta alongside the back four is not starting the attacks together, not dictating the play as the centre mids of J-Lo should do, then I think we should look at Carlos Soler, because Carlos Soler technically won't lose the ball that much like Paqueta. He will dictate the play, which we need. We need someone to pick up the ball from the back four and start the attacks, right? So, again, options there, right? Alvarez, he'll be all right. If he gets injured, Rodriguez can come in, straight change. Or we can look at Paqueta next to Carlos Soler. That would be even more amazing. But if Paqueta gets more disciplined and has his mind on the game, right? Just putting it out there, right? Fulkrug, you spent 27, 28 million for. You got to play him. In my eyes, you cannot have him playing Scrabble on the touchline with Somerville, or certainly playing an out of form for a long time now. Antonio will be amazing sub, and talk about Souček as well. Again, rotate it game to game. You know, Souček plays like that. He's always going to be in the manager's plans and a manager's mind, mate. And you might even nick one of these two places in the CDM, even though he's not CDM. I think he's a goal getter. He's a goal getter, and Souček's for me, more often than not, will be off the bench, right? Ward-Prowse is gone. That was going to be another good option from the bench. That's fine. Fulkrug, I think, I think Fulkrug needs to up his game. Not up his game, but just. I know he's only 3-4 games gone, but what do they say? The holiday season is over, or just get on with it now, mate. You know, you're coming in, you're not young, you're experienced, you've done it at Dortmund, you've done it for Germany. Come on, big boy. Here's your chance. Here's the keys. Go for it, right? I think you got to try it. The worst thing you can do is just keep babysitting him, baby feeding him. Get in there. Let's go and see. If it doesn't happen, then looking back, it was a mistake that we didn't go for John Duran, and that 10-15 million maybe that we got on Guilherme could have gone on John Duran. I don't know. I'm not the decider, and it's easy to look back in hindsight, isn't it? But and talking about Guilherme, let's see what happens. Looks like he's got a lot of pace. He plays in that Somerville role. Let's see. You know. So this is what I'm thinking. Again, put it in your comments. I think it just makes sense. You're playing people in their right positions. I don't know what Paqueta's right position is. He's one of those Joe Cole number 10 types that fucks up everyone's lineup. And Souček and Paqueta are two players that will always fucking be a manager's headache. Where do you put them? Souček is not a CDM. He's just a floater that goes around being a nuisance, gets on the end of things. What do you do with players like that? A bit like a Gus Poyet arriving late in the box. What do you do with people arriving late in the box? If you're not going to go in the box, what they're doing, usually nothing, scratching their balls, right? Paqueta, tricks and flicks, losing it, sulking, going missing, don't want to defend. What do we do? Right? So they're the players that wreck Jazz's formation and the players' formations, right? But Kudus, I don't think there's much of an issue. He'll be happy in there as a number 10. He's got all the attributes to go central, go right, go up front, got the pace, got the trickery, got the strength. It'll be hard to pick him up. And Bowen is Bowen. Somerville is playing where he's always played, no issue. Fulkrug's playing up there closer to free, should be no issue. Alvarez, no issue. It's all about Paqueta. Paqueta can make or break this formation, similar to Souček. So it is what it is. I don't have many concerns in the back four. Emerson, if he is missing Paqueta, he's there. Hold his hand, have a little game together. Play Ringa Roses, mate. It'll be lovely. And Antonio can have an ice cream on the bench because he used to love having an ice cream down the wing, as you know. I don't want to see Antonio anymore. I don't want to see Creswell. I don't want to see Mavropanos. Agurda's gone anyway. Baba, mate. This is largely what I want to see, but I am on the verge of getting pissed off with Paqueta. So it is what I'm thinking. We've been going on for 18 minutes now. So let me go back to the other screen, really, and we'll kind of wrap things up. Right, let's go back to that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. You can obviously change the personnel depending on form, depending on what's going on in the game, injuries, suspensions, that kind of thing. But the mystery is over Guilherme. I don't know. I'm thinking he's for the future, but can West Ham afford to put that amount of money in the future when we could have had the funds to buy John Duran? We would have pushed us. He would have pushed us into the top 5, top 6, I feel. Forget the top 7, top 8, top 9, top 10. John Duran, it is what it is. But anyway, I think that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed that. Obviously, yeah, if you're new, please subscribe, keep watching. I'm trying to bring interesting things to you as we go forward. That kind of thing. So yeah, have a good weekend. There's no Premiership football. It's internationals. I haven't really got time for any of that. You know that. So yeah, I heard there's going to be one every month. I've heard that's going to be painful because just as when you're getting into the new season, then they bring this bloody lard in, really. But it is what it is. So you guys have a lovely Friday, lovely weekend, and hopefully I'll be back with another show. Take care.